All right, welcome back. Well, just some messages coming through now. This one is from Law Alpha. He says, if the reshuffling of federal government ministries does not cascade down to drastic reduction on cost of running the government business, then it is needless. Still wondering how the ubiquitous Women Affairs Minister, Barrister Uju K. Ohanaya, was laid off. Strange, he says. Yeah,
because some people actually did enjoy her movement within the Ministry of Women Affairs. She certainly wasn't afraid to be controversial.
Yeah, she was controversial because she had that clash with the Senate House of Reps committee. Remember that open clash? So maybe that might have added to moves to also ensure that she doesn't return. And besides the ministry, she also spoke about the ministry spending money organizing conferences rather than addressing the real stuff. So who knows? Maybe they'll keep spending the money now.
Yeah, she was very controversial. She wasn't afraid to tell the United Nations, we're going to sue you. You know, she wasn't afraid to disrupt events that had, what they call that now, logos of the Ministry of Women Affairs saying, look, we did not sanction this. We're not a part of this. You people are impersonating. I mean,
so the corruption fight back.
And then remember that very controversial, very controversial, but also very sensitive case with the Speaker of the Niger State House of Assembly, where 100 late girls, I don't know, adolescents were said to have been married or were going to be married, and it was something that the Minister of Women Affairs intervened in, and it wasn't looking very pretty. She did say they were going to investigate because the Speaker then of the Niger State House of Assembly insisted that those ladies were not underage. But we didn't hear much of it much later. But these are all the things, these are all the controversies that the Minister of Women Affairs was not afraid to wade into. At least she did not hide in a shell somewhere. She certainly was, visible. But we also see this one now from Harrison Okunt. This is a tweet from him saying, TCN, it's been 4 days since we last had light in the whole of Jos, Plateau State. Wow. This torture is too much to bear any longer. What's the update of your false tracing? Keep us informed, please. I think that's where a lot of government agencies fail, keeping people informed, keeping people updated. Why is it so difficult for you to, or you think that when you tell them once, then they should wait till whenever? Every single day you need to say, we're still on it. Please bear with us. Because, Chamberlain, in this season where electricity first, if you're on band A, you're paying so much more. And then if you have to run your generator, are you going to be using petrol at 1,200 to run a generator?
Well, it is the unfortunate scenario that we see with government agencies. But these same government agencies are very, very active if it has to do with punitive measures against businesses or companies. They are very sharp and aggressive. If it goes to do with tax, they come after you. If it's to seize your goods at the port, they come after you. If it's to harass you on the roads, thank God for that court judgment for Abuja. They would have still been harassing people in Abuja by now. So
the IO says they're fighting back. Well, I think it's certainly a matter for the FCCPC to look into. There must be some consumer protection for electricity consumers. While the NERC should be doing its work as regulator, when this sort of complaints, and I will also tell Harrison Okunt, if you can hear us, we're taking this, taking your tweet, but I would also suggest that you tag the NERC and also the FCCPC, that's the Federal, Consumer Protection Agencies. The NERC is the regulator of that particular sector, to also weigh in on this and say, why are you not communicating with your customers? Yeah,
so speak up whenever you can, whatever it is. You're supposed to pay. You're paying for this, so you should get the service, not just pay and not get the service. Well, let's head over now to Ayo. He's got the next item lined up. Ayo.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. Well, thankfully, Markwe, Harrison's message came in about 12 hours ago. Let's hope that the power has been restored. However, so Harrison, if you're listening, and anyone around that place, if you're listening and watching, or anyone that's having that issue, send us a message now at Sunrise Daily Now on X. Post to us and mention us or whatever. And let's know how far so far if power has been restored. And that's perhaps in a sense part of what we're talking about, performance, so that Nigerians get what they call dividends of democracy. Dr. Olusonya Awoson joins us this morning in the studio. He's Executive Chairman, Center for Ethics and Civic Values. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
Well, one of the issues that is on the burner, of course, is the ministerial reshuffling that the president carried out. What do you make of it? How significant do you think it is? How much impact do you think it's going to have? How expectant are you?
Well, I think as a team leader, if you observe that you need to think out with your team, there's nothing bad about it. But I think what I always want to say is that when you are also bringing in new team members, it must be people who are bringing specialized knowledge that can help in one particular area that you have observed that, oh, this area we need to beef up and all these things. You look at it, for instance, I'm happy about the inclusion of Dare, Sunday Dare, because no doubt about it, the present configuration in the media setting there has been very weak, lacking creative focus, and require emotional attachment to people and being empathetic in communicating with the people. And I think that coming in with his experience, his disposition, his knowledge, I think he will be able to help the government in that area. But there's no government that can deliver on his promise without the active support of the citizens. The citizens, I was reading a report very recently about social trust in this country, and the barometer was that nearly every institution of government in this country has lost. The people have lost hope. Nearly every. There's no that degree of believability that can make Nigeria get committed and be hopeful. I cannot say that people should just show perseverance. They must know what they are expecting. They must see the light that, okay, at the end of this tunnel, this is what is going to happen. And when you are, like we are now, we're in the midst of extreme hunger and poverty. You know, the media team must also realize that. So when they speak to the people, they must know that they are speaking to people who are living not on the level of human beings, but rather on a very harrowing, they are living with harrowing experience. So you must communicate with them in that perspective. But I've not seen that in all this. Somebody was saying that the president can rule from anywhere, where he can go to wherever. The president cannot tell you to say that one. So with the coming of Dare, but in the area of economy, I was expecting that something will be done there. Yes, I was expecting something more than just bringing a minister of state, because the economic team, all that we hear from them is romanticizing idea about market forces and there. There must be local response. Why do you have tertiary institutions here, research institutions and all these things? Papers are being churned out every day in the university. I expect them to bring people together from that area. This economy, the Minister of Finance and all this, it is not, you cannot just be gallivanting on television and say that reeling out figures and all these things. People must say that you are researching and you are updating your knowledge.
You don't think that they're researching?
Well, they may be researching, but what is the impact? What is the impact? The measure of any intellectual work is the contribution it can make to the society. You are not just a professor because you are a professor. You are a professor because the work of your hand is imparting to society. Are you getting me? Where is the local response to what is? We have been talking of agriculture and agriculture.
My apologies. When you say local response, exactly what are you talking about?
For instance, if there is hunger and starvation, people, ordinary garis out of reach, and it has been so for more than 1 year. Am I lying?
Is that a responsibility of the federal government?
Look, I'm just asking. It is the responsibility of any government. The aim of any government.
No, because you're talking about ministers. I'm just trying to make sense.
The aim of any government is the welfare of
yes, I get
people
that.
under execution.
Just
look,
so
and food. comes first on the table.
I get the point.
The Yoruba will say that.
Just a second,
okay.
Mr. Dr. Osa. When you're talking about the federal government, you're talking about federal ministers.
Okay.
And you're talking about, market response. I understand it.
Yeah.
So what exactly is the issue? I'm just trying to make sense of it for the Nigerian.
Yes.
What's the price of food got to do with the policy of the federal government? I'm just trying to make sense from your perspective.
When you have very few products, and 10 of that ordinarily should go around 25 people, and 20 people are running after that 10 products, what do you have? 20 people are running after that product.
So there is scarcity.
So
of
we
food.
need to increase. We need to increase. Okay. We need to increase production.
Okay. So isn't that something that one would have expected?
Capacity.
Well, isn't that something that one would have expected that particularly the state government, because that issue is something that the federal and particularly the state government. I'm not sure that the federal government has a dairy farm, for instance.
I agree with you.
Yes.
That you cannot exonerate the state and the local government.
Yes.
But the budget for the federal ministry, is it for jamboree? It's not. You must also. You can only account for the budget.
You're talking about. Let's be focused on the conversation. You're talking about market forces. That's what I'm trying to get so that we understand and we make sense.
What I'm saying is that their response to the economy deprivation of Nigeria is all built around market forces. What I'm saying is that we have had enough of market forces. Market forces is made for man. Man cannot be made for market forces. What is your local response? For instance, in the usual the food inflation, what is your response? Look, if for 1 year, there is a plan, a deliberate plan, a sustained effort to increase just maybe yam, production of yam, it will be done. The land is already there. Are you getting me? The land is there. The manpower is already there. What the weather, the God has provided it. So what else?
Isn't that a role for state governments?
It's not only for state government because you have a.
You were just a second,
Yeah.
Dr. Wilson. So you talked about food production.
Yeah.
You talked about the farm.
Yes.
You talked about agriculture. The federal government. I am not sure that the federal government can have land for agriculture without the state governments.
The policy and support.
Just a second.
Okay.
Then it is the federal government that guarantees any financial resources that will come from outside of Nigeria to the states.
Yeah.
It's always the federal government that guarantees that. For instance, the special agro-industrial processing zones, $538 million for 7 states plus the FCT. It is the federal government that is the guarantor of that resource.
Yes.
That's but it's money for the states. So isn't that supposed to be something that the states will directly, just a second, directly take charge of? I get the point of the policy, but let's also, so that there is balance, we're not just finger pointing.
No, we are not. Yes, I agree with you that it's not just finger pointing. I also totally agree with you that the state government cannot be exonerated from all this problem. But what I am talking particularly, you were talking about cabinet reshuffle. And I said I was expecting that something be done in the area of the Ministry of Finance other than just posting Minister of State. For instance, maybe I'm wrong. I don't say anything why a more creative and more equipped person should not come in as the Minister of Finance.
Okay, so what is wrong with what the Minister of Finance has done so far?
I have not seen
I'm
not saying what he has done, what the ministry has done so far. Okay. Maybe you know. If you tell me now, I will now absorb it. I have not seen what particularly they have done so far, other than romanticizing the idea of market forces. So
what do you think? What do you think they should do that will make
that
a
is
difference?
That is why they are put there. There is no that. Look, there is no the purpose of mental capability is for you to. The purpose of being there and you lead is for you to, if you get to a lasting limit. You borrow ideas from people. You bring them together.
What kind of ideas are you suggesting?
For instance, I know that if you go to Department of Department of Economics in most of the university, people must have researched on that one. It is not my duty to go and look for it.
Are you aware?
It is
do you know whether or not they are using any of these papers you're talking about?
If they are using it, we have not seen it. We have not seen the impact. Are you getting me?
Do you have any paper in mind? Any particular paper in mind that you want to cite?
Look, I don't have any particular paper I want to cite, but I don't need to bring in names of people. I have so interacted. I have one leg in the academics and one leg outside. I do interact with these people. I do ask questions. You get the point? They too should interact with them and ask questions. Ideas will come. Look, once upon a time, there were no drugs manufactured in a fine way, traditional. What do we have now? For as far back as 1980, there was one Professor Lamikara in Ife who used to chunk out a lot of drugs and all these things. Look, all these things, our universities, there are good universities in Nigeria, you know, very good universities, and they are capable academics in this country. They go out and they shine. And you do think they cannot shine in this country too? What I'm saying is that the Ministry of Finance, they should do more. We are tired, particularly I am tired of all this idea of market forces and all these things, of raising tax and all this. They should bring out, look, you can't, the Yoruba people will say, you must search. You must search. That's why you are there. You are not there to just and when people are dying of hunger and starvation.
Okay. Now, one of the questions that I asked Mr. Akonde earlier is that the federal government stands in a position more of policy and coordination than of actually being hands-on. Yeah. For instance, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, everyone believes is a very big deal, and I agree. 129 million Nigerians living below poverty line. Sure. It is not something any government will sleep easy over. Now, but then how do you get, for instance, that kind of ministry working without collaborating with the states? Without that collaboration, it will still look like the minister is, or whoever is in charge is not doing anything. So do you think it is possible to just single out one, I'm just talking, just asking questions, single out one minister without the other departments and agencies under that minister and without the states where the effect of their work will show?
I've said that I agree with you. But you see, the head is important. If the head goes bad, the whole part of the body will surely go bad. What we are saying is this. We have seen that a lot, the private sector who are also complaining of certain policies and all these things that is not assisting them to deliver. Is that state government? That is not state government. I am saying that we should expect more. I expect more from this ministry. Okay. And then if
you were to set a KPI for these ministers, what would be your KPIs for? Mention one ministry, and what would be your KPIs for that minister?
For that minister, you mention one ministry. You know what I say. What I want to say is this: I'm not here to apportion my background, but generally, you know, you have a copy of my magazine. I have this idea that I'm saying here. I've said, look, the ministry should go about beyond this orthodox idea of market forces. We should come up with an idea. Once upon a time, they said you cannot plant at a particular period of time. Now they are planting. It is research. You get the point. Money is there. There is budget for the ministry. What are they using the budget for? So I think we need them to sharpen their policy. Okay. We need them to sharpen their policy in that ministry.
One other issue that is similar, I mean, all ministers and government appointees always come through one political platform or the other, one way or the other. Yeah. You know, so it leads to the question of the issues that you have heard going on in the PDP. What do you make of it? Do you see an end in sight? It's been on for quite a significant length of time, even well before the general elections of last year.
Well, I see an end to it. I see an end to it, and I will anchor my hope on the governor of Bauchi State. I have worked with him when I work under President Jonathan together. And he's a man, he's a very liberal person, he's very objective. And with the activities of the Governors Forum under his leadership, I think the PDP will get out of this problem. But suffice to say that, you see, because why should they not get out of it? All I've seen, that's from both sides, whether the wicked side or Atiku side, I've seen Atiku started the pull down of PDP. He ran away and he came back. Are you getting me? To a man who has been vice president of a country, to whom much is given, much is expected. At that time he left with a view to emasculate PDP. He shouldn't have. I have contested the election as a young boy. I have lost. I didn't have to leave. You get the point now. And for you, who was going to be a governor, and somebody pick you to be vice president, and God Almighty allowed that. He overlooked all other brilliant, very intelligent. You know Nigeria now. Meant that Nigeria had a lot of human resources, and you became vice president under that party. And you see this, you have to go and Google all that he has said about PDP. And today now you are gathered as an elder. Every elder must not abuse their eldership. To whom much is given, much is expected. So he deserves what is getting now. But the other man too, Wike, you fight with this, you fight with that one. How many people are you going to fight with? It is not good for even his own head. It's right to be annoyed. You get the point now? But you must show comportment. As a federal minister, you say you want to go and cause confusion in about 5 states. Is that why you are elected? In any other crime, it will not only go, it will be charged to court.
For what?
For wanting to cause confusion.
Wanting or saying?
For saying that it will cause confusion.
Well, as concerning saying, I remember late Governor Keredolu said, that's what they call political gunshots. They just say things that they are not going to do.
You are saying things that you are not going to do. If some other people who are loyal to you, miscreants who are loyal to you, take it up and say, he has said it will cause confusion. Let's cause confusion. You can't predict what will happen. What we are saying is that, look, we are in a position of leadership. It is not only infrastructure you build this one, build this road. You are a role model. Young people are looking at you. They say, this is a minister. They are looking at you. They want to pattern in their life after what you say, what you do. So you cannot because you have quarrel with your brother. You cannot pull down the whole house now. Okay. Because you and your brother, you are fighting. You now set fire on the family house. Okay.
So now the point you make about hope that the governor of Bauchi State would make a difference in his capacity as a leader in the party. What are the things you expect him to do? And what are the things that other people, particularly the feuding parties, should also do?
The feuding parties should know that all have sinned. All have sinned. They should first of all forgive themselves individually. If I'm involved now, you forgive yourself, I forgive myself. Then I now forgive you, now you now forgive me. Because look, the whole essence of democracy is that John Locke said men and men come together in civil society to seek right to life, liberty, and property. You get the point now? Okay, with this advance life more abundant for the people, you are fighting your state, you are fighting, you should be tired of fighting. Okay. When Nigerians are dying, you are fighting instead of looking for ways.
As far as you're concerned, let's work for peace.
Let's work for peace.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Truly appreciate it. Dr. Olusonya Awosan is Executive Chairman, Center for Ethics and Civic Values. Thank you so much again for your time. My pleasure. Chamberlain, Markwe.
Yes, indeed. What an interesting time that we're all in. I guess we'll look and see what happens moving forward. How will all of this impact you and I, we the common men? All right. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Chamberlain Osop. Goodbye.
Well, here's hoping you have a wonderful Thursday. I'm Mark Belgrin Yusuf.
Mark, did I hear Chamberlain say he's a common man? Anyway, that's a matter for another day. Amaya Makinde, have a beautiful day.
Sorry to having a wife over Super Morgan.
And I'm Sonny Martel.
We are here to tell you about our newest, more